So here we are with our very first camping crafting video, glamping crafting, whatever you want to call it. It's okay. So everybody is doing these witches hats and they are so cute. I already did one, I'm not gonna lie. I might have cheated on you, I'm sorry. But in any event, so I have everything out just to show you right now what we're gonna use. So I actually just stopped out at the Dollar Tree today and bought this. This is just a little decoration that has this nice little wreath form on the back that gives us kind of a guide. So for me, $1 for this, that's great. So I bought this just today. I use the self-healing board and the rotary cutter. For me, I like this because it gives me nice straight edges. It doesn't fray much. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I've used scissors before. They work fine. This is just a little bit cleaner. Honestly, I don't keep my wreaths around much anyway. The first one I did, it was beautiful. Everybody loved it. I'm pretty sure I've already thrown it away, as the next year always brings a new idea. So if all you have is scissors, that's okay. You don't have to go out and buy the big $30 ordeal for this. I just happen to like it. I craft a lot, so for me it was worth it. We're also going to use this little door hanger that I got also at the Dollar Tree. You'll find that I try to buy whatever I can at the Dollar Tree because crafting can get super expensive, even if it's just at the Dollar Tree. So I try to do things as cheap as possible, but sometimes I also will admit that I do go to Hobby Lobby from time to time and buy some things. Like I got this weekend for $5.99. It was actually 40% off, so I paid like $3.50 for it. One roll of this will do the entire wreath. So it is a little bit more, but it is a little bit nicer fabric. It's actually double layered. It's sewed on nice. It's thick and it's vibrant. So honestly, for me, $3.50 versus $1 for all that quality, I'll take. I also have 4 rolls. This one I'm going to use all orange mesh. I'm not going to interchange that at all. We're going to use these Dollar Tree ribbons. It's 5/8 inches and it's actually 3 yards. I love glitter. So I have a black and an orange. I know some people don't use all the glitter on every one. I'm just going to alternate. I'll do one with black, one with orange, one with black, one with orange. I will use all of these for the whole thing. I also have what some of you call chenille stems. I'm from Ohio. These are pipe cleaners to me. I've heard people call them fuzzy sticks, fuzzy wires. Doesn't matter what you call them. This is what we're going to use. For me, the key when I am using this is to make sure that I get real close to what I want to zip tie it down, so that way it stays firm where I want it to stay. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, if you're using purple, you can leave this on if you want. It doesn't hurt anything. I'm using orange. So I'm just going to peel it off. It's not a big deal. Just going to pull it right off of there. It comes off easy. Honestly, I think it's adorable if I was going to use purple, which I'm not, because I already did a purple one, truth be told. So this will leave you with this this basic little witch's hat, and you can even take this purple out. It's not really a big deal. It's just wrapped around these pegs. So this isn't real labor intensive to take out. So there you go, all your purple is gone. Now what I'm going to do is I am just going to kind of show you quickly where I'm going to put all of these, okay? So you have some idea of what's going to happen here. I don't actually leave these in here. This is just really for you, kind of show you where each little bundle is going to be. So that's why I'm using the pipe cleaners that are any color, because obviously when I'm doing this, even though the idea is for them to be hidden, some of them may not. It may not hide as well as I want. So I really just want it to blend in if for some reason it doesn't hide as well as I had hoped. So in this end piece, each of these ends will have 3. I try to put one on each side of that and one at the very tip. And then when you get down here, you kind of go every other. You do the bottom, and then we're going to go up and do one around the middle bar. Should end up needing 19 when it's all done. So honestly, you're going to need 21 because we're going to put 2 at the top as well, so our top doesn't look empty. Another thing I want to say about this project is that this isn't necessarily just a witch's hat. I've seen people use it for Santa's hats, and they are super cute as well. So whatever works for you. And also, when you get done with this, you might look at it and say, oh, I want it to be just a little fluffier, and that's okay, just add some more. I am showing you the basics of what a lot of people use. You can use more. So this is kind of wild, but this is where we're going to place everything. And we're going to kind of try to spread it out, fluff it out, so that way when our little sections we make are in here, it's all fluffy and full and looks professional. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start cutting our supplies. So we're going to take our Dollar Tree mesh, and we're going to cut this at 30 inches. I have 4 rolls without, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough, but we may need more. We'll see. So I'm going to bring it back to the line, and I'm going to cut at the 6, so I have 30 inches there. We're going to do this with all of the mesh. Once all of the mesh is cut, then we're going to move on and we're going to start doing this with the ribbon. For the ribbon, the big, well, actually both the big and small ribbon, I've pre-cut this to try to save a little bit of time and energy here. So we're going to cut these to 9. Our ribbon is 6 inches. So we want this really to be the key piece sticking out. So we're going to cut this to 9 inches. So I saved 2 pieces to cut to kind of show you how I do this. And I always turn the pattern inside. It probably doesn't really make a difference, but I just turn the pattern inside and cut. And I flip it around and cut the other end. Easy peasy. I've also used my rotary cutter for this before. Also, not a big issue. Does the exact same thing. Again, I've seen people who have used scissors and just made the cut. I am just not precise enough for that. So this works for me. We are also going to cut this black and the orange, and this is also going to be 9 inches. So we're going to cut these right at 9 inches. You can, on this, take these and cut them the same way if you want. I find it kind of difficult because you're working with such a small area, but the cuts are really nicer like that. But on this one, on the orange, I'm not going to fib. I did do the cuts where you cut on both sides. So it doesn't always have to be any certain way. So I told you we were going to use a lot of the door hanger. So I want to show you kind of what I did. So I tore the bell ringer apart piece by piece with the plan to use every bit of it. But the problem is this bow doesn't look so good, so we'll use the bow that came off of the other one. So I'm going to use this bow, or the other bow, on the tippy top of my hat as kind of a decoration. And then I'm going to take these, and that's just put on with hot glue. You can pull that hot glue right off, and this little zip tie, wire tie, whatever it is. Once you pull that off, all of this will come loose. Once it comes loose, sorry about that. That's kind of the thing when you're taping in a public area. There's people mowing their grass, people driving by, people talking. So I'm sorry about that if this gets choppy. I'll go over these again just simply because I'm not so sure how much we got before the lawnmower started back up. This was the Dollar Tree door hanger. I just tore everything apart. It's only hot glued, and there's a twist tie on there. When I took it off, it actually had 2 bells on one nice string. So what I did was I just took my scissors and cut the middle of the string and pushed the pipe cleaner through it. So it is ready to hang on our wreath whenever we're ready. So I've been making a couple of bundles while I waited on them to finish mowing. So I can tell you that you will get 6 30-inch pieces off of each of these. So 4 rolls of the Dollar Tree mesh will be plenty. So now I'm going to show you how I roll these up. I start out with the curl down. It's just easier for me to maintain that way. You can do it the other way. It doesn't really matter. So I just kind of try to just scrunch it up, and when it gets kind of toward the end, I try to make it, because I try to hold it in the same area so that all of our little pieces are about the same length. That's the only thing that concerns me about this one, is if you kind of go one way or another, you can have this really long piece that you're not looking forward to. Okay, so now we have our final 5 pieces cut. We have our ribbon, we have our glittery ribbon, we have our pipe cleaners, and I have taken the pipe cleaners off of the hat. Again, that was just to show you where I was going to put them. If you want, you could screenshot that area if you want a visual that you can keep. So when I start this, again, first of all, I'm going to have to tuck these under my leg because the wind wants to wreak havoc here. So I start out flat, and then I just kind of roll it up, trying to keep it in the same general area. I want that line to stay straight. Otherwise, I will have pieces that are higher than I want them to be. So once I have this made, it doesn't look like much, I'll give you that. I'm going to take this little ribbon and put in there, and then I'm going to take my orange. I go every other color, so one time I'll do orange, the next time I'll do black. And then I'll put that in the pile. I have mine in a little Tupperware container over here, solely because I have chosen to do this outside today because it's a nice day and the wind is playing some games with me. So I tried to contain everything the best I could so Yogi's little helpers didn't have to clean up my mess. So there's the next one, and we did the last one orange. So we're going to do this one in black, which I'm not really a fan of dark colors, but I like the way this is looking. If it's not perfect, that's really okay. Nobody's going to notice the difference anyway. So now we have all of our pieces made. So now we're going to just start popping them in. So again, here's the Tupperware container I used to beat the wind. So I'm going to go ahead with my first one, and I am just going to tuck it in here. It doesn't matter how you put it in right now. We're gonna fluff it up at the end, and we can turn everything however we want. I just make sure it's good and secure. And I try to make sure I go every other color. So if this one is black, I'm gonna need to use an orange one for the next one. And again, I'm going right around that already made space with the wreath form. I turn it several times because I don't want this to fall apart. I want it to be good and sturdy. Once you have everything cut and everything put together, really the hard part is done. Everything from there on out is really easy. It's really the fun part. It's where you get to design what you want to see done. You get to add the pieces you want, and it's where the creativity really begins. This is just following some directions. The part of the wreath that makes it yours is the end, is where you put on the pieces that you think look good. I have a few things that I'll put on this wreath, like the bells we made, but it's not something that you have to do. It's not something that's going to make it or break it. This, when you get into the middle, it gets a little trickier just to make sure that you're in the right spot because there are so many already on. You could probably start here and end up in the other section if that would be easier. I guess I've never done anything easy, so. So now we're pretty much to the top of our wreath. Yes, I have extra because I had a little extra material and I just used it. I didn't want to waste it. You can fluff this up if you find a spot that looks like it's if it's empty or could use a little something, just pop something in there, whatever you have. I have a lot of little things. Again, I'm going to be using the bells to fill in some gaps, and at the top I'll take a black and an orange, and I'll kind of crisscross them like this, and take one of my pipe cleaners, and usually I start the pipe cleaner already in here because this one's kind of tough to get. I'm going to take it like this and try to keep them separated, and again, just wrap that pipe cleaner around. You can pull it underneath and hide all of that. Make sure all your pretty ribbons are showing, and you have lots of good ribbon. So this is our end product. The only thing that I also wanted to share is that there are many variations to this. Whoops, I guess I didn't do such a hot job with this. There are many variations to this wreath. I've seen people use these as Santa Claus wreaths, which is adorable. You can just wrap halfway down with mesh, like we figured, or we determined. There is extra mesh at the end of your 4 rolls, so you can wrap down to about here and then do the bottom in white instead. There's just a lot of different ideas out there. I'm not really a fan of orange, but I really kind of like this, so it might end up on my door at work. I guess that's really all I have for you today. Good luck and happy crafting.